Two news stories for you. Both are updates, very significant updates. Because in the previous video, I told you about a news story published by the Associated Press, AP. AP talked to a member of Ethiopian diaspora who had met Ethiopian PM Abiy 3 days ago, and the diaspora member claimed that PM Abiy had said in the conversation that there would be talks to resolve Tigray conflict. Now, the diaspora group, which met with Ethiopian PM Abiy on Saturday, has released a statement, a clarification about AP's story. It's very difficult to suggest to talk of negotiations in the prevailing situation in Ethiopia. We'll have a detailed look at the statement of the diaspora group, which seems to be denying that PM Abiy mentioned talks with TPLF. Secondly, viewers, Tigray forces, we know, are in Afar. Yesterday, Tigray officially confirmed in a statement that its forces had entered Afar. Now, we have received some fresh reports. Tigray forces are reportedly withdrawing from some areas of Afar. Why are Tigray forces withdrawing? Is it due to counterattack from Afar? Or is it Tigray Defense Forces strategy to hit and then to return to send a message? We'll have a look at the areas from where TDF is reportedly withdrawing. Firstly, viewers, a few hours ago, Associated Press published a news story. The AP talked to Mesfantag, who is the member of Ethiopian Diaspora Group, American Ethiopian Public Affairs Committee. Members of this group met with Ethiopian PM Abiy on Saturday. Then Mesfantageno talked to the AP, and Mesfantageno told AP that PM Abiy said in the conversation that there would be negotiations to resolve Tigray conflict. It was a breaking news because so far, Ethiopian government has not officially confirmed that it would hold talks with TPLF or other players to Tigray conflict. Now, we have a clarification. Diaspora Group has released a statement. American Ethiopian Public Affairs Committee has released a clarification. The diaspora group says that its conversation with Ethiopian PM Abiy was misrepresented by the Associated Press. Secondly, it says that PM Abiy mentioned negotiations in relation to TPLF's surrender. That talks will take place if TPLF surrender. And secondly, it says that the aid blockage is due to attacks by Tigray Defense Force. That was said by Ethiopian PM Abiy. So, the diaspora group has denied that PM Abiy said there would be talks with TPLF. And secondly, it has denied another thing. In the news story, AP said that PM Abiy said that Ethiopian government suspended military operations to make the people of Tigray challenge TPLF, to make them negotiate. And through the suspension of military operations, the people in Tigray would be forced to pressurize TPLF to start talks. So, both points are being denied by the diaspora group. It says that the aid blockage is not intentional by Ethiopian government. Rather, it's due to attacks by Tigray fighters on Tigray Afar border. And secondly, PM Abiy said talks would be held if TDF, TPLF surrendered. It's very difficult to suggest talks, to talk of negotiations in prevailing circumstances. Whenever I suggest that talks should happen, people criticize me as well. Tigrayans say, Sajid, we have lost thousands of Tigrayans, now you say talks. Amhara say, Sajid, we are still suffering the consequences of TDF's attack in Amhara. TDF is still in Amhara and you are suggesting talks. Afar says, Sajid, you see what happened 2 days ago. TDF is still in Abale, other places of Afar, and you are saying talks. So whenever I propose something, people lash out at me. So it's difficult. Those who are in Ethiopia, like Ethiopian PM, it's very difficult for him to announce the start of talks with TPLF or other Tigray-based group. It's very difficult. He'll have to work a lot. He'll have to do the groundwork to convince his support base. Otherwise, you'll keep on seeing such denials. And it would be difficult for Ethiopian PM as well to start any talks with Tigray Defense Force, Tigray People Liberation Front. Secondly, we know that Tigray forces are in Afar. They have launched an offensive on Afar. They clearly said yesterday that they wanted to degrade fighting capabilities of the Red Sea Force, newly established force by Eritrean forces and Afar militias. Now we have seen some reports that Tigray forces are reportedly withdrawing from some areas in Afar. From where are they withdrawing? They have withdrawn from Arabati. Arabati is situated to the east of Abala and Magale. Reportedly, they were close to Arabati. They were in Arabati, but they have withdrawn from Arabati towards Abala. And they have withdrawn from the surroundings of Birhale as well. Birhale was not entirely under TDF control, but now they have withdrawn from the places close to Birhale to, they are still in Abala, but from Arabati and from some places close to Birhale, they have withdrawn their forces. Now, Afar news sources say that it's due to counter attack from Afar forces. That is why TDF is withdrawing. But yesterday TDF said that it did not want to remain in Afar. So it's the military objective of its operation was to push Afar fighters, other forces away from Tigray borders and to degrade their fighting capabilities. So I think the withdrawal is largely voluntary because TDF did not want to penetrate deep into Afar. If it does, it will bear consequences. So it cannot. It is not in a position to go deep into Afar. It will have to face consequences. It just sent a message. It entered a few areas in Afar and heavy shelling was seen on Abala, on Magale, on Birhale as well. Now it is withdrawing to border areas. We might see complete withdrawal in coming hours, or we might see some attacks in other places too to send a message. It seems that Tigray forces are not interested in going deep into Afar, in holding territories. They're just entering the areas, carrying out shellings and then retreating, telling Afar fighters that they should not enter Tigray too. Let's see what happens. We'll keep you updated in coming hours. Thanks for watching.